Can we talk about corn for a second? Let's talk about corn for a second. Let me paint you a picture. It's the height of fall, Thanksgiving Day, or just any other day if you don't celebrate it, and you've just sat down with your big old plate of food. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, maybe a dinner roll, some mac and cheese, and there, in the corner of your plate, is corn. Not corn on the cob, not cream corn, just sweet, off the cob corn. Now, you face a dilemma. You've only brought 2 utensils to consume this meal, and 2 utensils should have been good enough. You have the fork, which can easily tackle the mash, the mac, the stuff, the turk. Well, not that kind. And then you have the knife. Admittedly, it's only here for one purpose, to cut the turkey. But the corn? Well, the corn is a different beast. And quickly, for the record, feel free to substitute corn with peas or some other small subdivided food that exists in a similar... The corn can be eaten with a fork, really without much fuss. You could stab the little bits of corn individually, you could use the fork to spoon up some of it, perhaps using the edge of a plate as an assist. Did you hear it? Use the fork to spoon. This is what distresses me so much. A spoon exists. Why am I sitting here like a grade A asshole, simply denying the spoon its role in the greater eating dichotomy? Denying the spoon its destiny? And think of the corn. Oh God, the corn. The corn wants to be spooned. It exists in small bits that could easily be spooned up and hold a nice, efficient portion of corn for your culinary consumption. The corn was born for this. So, let's think about this rationally. We can't substitute the knife. How will we cut the turkey? Now, I know that a properly cooked turkey or any other meat could easily be separated into digestible pieces with a fork or a spoon. The tenderness clearly allows for it, but some meat, whether it be fatty, dry, thick, or what may have you, cannot simply be tackled with a spoon or fork. Okay, so let's substitute the fork. The spoon can just as easily and efficiently handle the potatoes, the stuffing, the macaroni, but not the turkey. I mean, you could potentially use the spoon as the leverage required to cut the turkey with a knife, but then what? Scoop the meat up onto the spoon? I have a reputation to uphold, you sick fuck. I will not be seen spooning my limp meat into my mouth like some kind of barbarian who doesn't know forks exist. I realize I could have phrased that last sentence better. So we can't replace the fork, we can't replace the knife, and I am not about to bring 3 utensils to this meal, 2 of which only serve a single purpose. The only places that do that are restaurants and millionaires' mansions, and I am at neither, nor would I wish to be. No, this is a beautiful, home-cooked meal that deserves respect, and I cannot and will not waste a 3rd utensil. And so I hear what you're saying. Keep the fork, keep the knife, and place the corn into and on top of the mashed potatoes, perhaps even mixing in the other foods, and eat it that way. Now, unlike some, I wholeheartedly accept this approach. It's all going to the same place, and in fact, the combination of the foods can sometimes make for a quite enticing oral experience. But can we back up a second? Think again about the corn. The sweet, innocent, pure corn. It yearns to be desired, not just as another piece of this grandiose meal, but for what it is, who it is. It calls out to you and pleads for nothing more than to be eaten on its own, with a spoon. Now, I am not one to deny the corn what it wants, and quite frankly, it's what I want too. Sometimes you just want to eat corn, not corn and taters, not corn in the dinner roll like a little corn sandwich, though that is a good idea actually, but just corn. So, we've reached an impasse. But silently, from the depths of the great unforgiving void, I can hear you. I hear your cries for something more. Some way to solve all of these problems at once, with 1 utensil. I am, of course, talking about the spork. The glorious, magnificent spork. All the elegance and rotund of a spoon with the decisive finesse of a fork. Truly an invention well beyond its years, beyond its creators. A utensil to defy even the gods. But unfortunately, we spork lovers have been cast out like lepers to the dregs of society. To own a spork, a real metal spork, is oft unheard of. If a guest were to find this stunning piece of culinary equipment in your drawer, well, many may not see it as we do. They will guffaw, gaff, and generally disgrace the spork's good name. They will call us childish, infantile, unfit to be an adult in the world of consumption. At that wonderful Thanksgiving or any other day meal, we will be resigned to the kids' table. And we are not kids. Well, I'm assuming you're not. If you are, well, quite frankly, you're lucky. You don't have to exist in this dark, deranged world where the spork is seen as a pariah. I hope you cherish however many of these years of unadulterated adolescent joy that are left as you feast with the utensil of royalty. To eat like a king is to be a king. I will forever envy you. So, we're back to where we started. We're not going to use the fork as a spoon. We're not going to use the spoon as a fork. We can't use a spork. We can't trade the knife. And we're not about to be the pompous, wasteful asshole who brings 3 utensils to this meal. You will wash every single one of those utensils with grit and revelry until they are spotless, you disgusting bastard. And then you will grovel on your knees to this dying planet we call Mother Earth when her oceans have been depleted, her rivers run dry, begging for just one more drop of rain. But you won't get it. You never will, because you decided to bring 3 fucking utensils to the dinner table. You sicken me. So, where does that leave us? Well, let's explore a few other options briefly. For anyone watching in the eastern parts of the world, perhaps the answer was obvious to you. Chopsticks. Chopsticks fall not far from the tree which yielded the spork as a multi-use, multifaceted tool which transcends what it means to be a utensil. However, many have not been fortunately raised on chopsticks or have ever even touched chopsticks to know how to properly and gracefully use them. I have had many a run-in in my young and adult life with these fine pieces of forgery. However, I am still no master. And while some are able to snatch even a single grain of rice from a pile, we must never forget the corn. The corn does not want to be eaten individually. The corn wants to journey with its kin, entering the holy Valhalla that is my mouth in one unifying band of brothers. I shall not deny it. For those watching in some of the more central and still eastern parts of the world, you might offer the utensils you were born with, your hands. I respect this, absolutely. A bit messy, sure, but effective. You can portion exactly how much corn you want with each mouthful and truly savor the corn at your pace, your leisure, quick or slow. And while I respect this method, we cannot escape the foul demon that is societal standards. Simply, at this family or friends gathering, if I were to bask in the glow of the corn, meeting my calloused skin to its soft, sweet delicacies as nature intended, well, I might be thrown out. With those out of the way, we once again return to the beginning, a seemingly impossible task of enjoying corn, peas, and other small, lovingly grouped foods in a landscape that does not allow us to earnestly and heartfully do so. So, what do? For most, including I, we simply take our lumps. We bastardize the fork into the spoon it was never meant to be, and stab, scoop, and finagle our way into making the most of this meal that we've been provided, or even slaved over in the kitchen ourselves. For others, they may even forgo the knife altogether and make their best effort, hopefully with success, to cut their meat with their spoon and or fork. They are the lucky few who have found the societally accepted equilibrium. Some may accept their status as a martyr and consume this meal voraciously with the tool of the champions of Olympus, the spork. We thank you dearly for your sacrifice, and we will never forget you. And for anyone else, well, they make another kind of sacrifice. They leave the corn off their plate, waiting for seconds or some other occasion to enjoy the corn as it was meant to be enjoyed, with a spoon or similar scooping method. Their sacrifice, as it pains me to say, is not one that I can respect. The corn belongs on the first plate, with the big boy foods, with the main attractions, the creme de la creme, the kings of the kitchen. Corn should not be subjected to some occasional pastime or fodder for seconds during which you may be too full to even finish it. No! Corn is divine. Corn is sacred. Corn is to be championed and celebrated for the gift to the world that it is. I dream of a bright future where the spork is accepted for what it is. I dream for a day where eating with our hands, no matter the occasion or circumstance, is acceptable as well. But I do wonder if these dreams will ever come true. In the meantime, I can only wish for the very best for my corn and hope that it will forgive me in time for whatever compromise I am forced to make. I know that it won't, but I prefer the sweet lie to the bitter, harsh reality that I have brought upon my beloved. Ignorance is truly bliss, even if a small part of me will always know, always hurt, and always bleed for the many days in which I dishonored my corn. Thank you for watching, and may the God of corn have mercy on our souls. Amen.